E ben ritrovati, cari glitch. Buonasera, ma buonasera, buonasera Zarkon, buonasera Matt, buonasera Pad, buonasera Harlock, buonasera a tutti quanti e grazie di essere qui con me quest'oggi. Inizieremo. Inizieremo Metal Gear Solid 3, ragazzi, e ci siamo. Siamo arrivati al terzo capitolo di questa storica saga di Hideo Kojima. Abbiamo iniziato facendo una breve introduzione su Metal Gear 1 e 2 e voglio riallacciarmi ai primi due Metal Gear per MSX per dire che Kojima con questo terzo capitolo di Metal Gear Solid torna sui suoi passi. Anche perché si era un po', diciamo, stancato della figura di Snake, Solid Snake, e anche di tutta questa questione dei Les Enfants Terribles che abbiamo avuto modo di vedere con Solidus, Liquid e via dicendo, per tornare indietro. Torna Hideo Kojima, esatto, esatto, per tornare al passato. Infatti, se voi ben ricordate, nel finale finaloso di Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty si parla dei Patriots, si parla di un secolo fa. Siamo tornati non a un secolo fa, però durante la guerra fredda. Ovviamente adesso giocheremo Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater e impersoneremo lo Snake d'eccezione, Big Boss. Proprio qui accanto a me abbiamo, salve, abbiamo, e tra le altre cose, per l'occasione, se non rompo il microfono, abbiamo la maglia definitiva che fortunatamente, nonostante sia verde, non entra, non scontorna, non sono scontornato per il green screen. Bravo, Catherine J. Jr., Dio l'abbia in gloria. E adesso è il momento di Metal Gear Solid 3. Prima però lo avvio. Lo avviamo. Lo avviamo e ora che lo avviamo ci siamo. Ma che spettacolo! Eh sì, una gran bella maglietta, tra l'altro l'avevo presa quando fu al GameStop, mi ricordo, quando tanti e tanti anni fa, quando era uscito Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, che all'epoca c'erano queste belle iniziative, quindi quando si tratta di belle iniziative si possono fare i nomi, dai. E mi è scappato. Allora, ci spostiamo. Come al solito devo essere una specie di volpe a nove code. Aiuto l'audio fortissimo. L'audio violento proprio. Devo abbassarlo per forza. Fatemelo abbassare. Forse si può fare da qua. Le prestidigitazioni. Fatemi abbassare subito quest'audio. Non si può fare nella categoria. Perfetto. La abbasso. Ok. Nel frattempo ammirerete Steam. No, vabbè. Passiamo un poco da qua. Che dite? Due paroline su Toriyama? Gli ho dedicato una lettera. Gli ho dedicato una lettera al maestro Toriyama. La trovate come post nei feed su Instagram. Inutile dire che mi sia dispiaciuto terribilmente per la sua dipartita, nel senso il suo non essere più in questo mondo, e come tutte le morti del resto. Che dire, quel giorno sono stato particolarmente male, come lo sono state la maggior parte delle persone che sono nate, cresciute e hanno vissuto ciò che il maestro ha raccontato nelle sue storie, che sia Dragon Quest, che sia Dragon Ball, che sia Arale, Dr. Slump, tutte questi vari racconti che ha fatto, no? Queste opere. E il suo stile inconfondibile mancherà a molti. C'è stata tutta la questione polemica in merito alle AI generate per omaggiare, ma al tempo stesso rovinare quella che è la sua memoria da artista, quantomeno. Io mi sento di dire soltanto questo, il resto è storia. Iniziamo Metal Gear Solid 3. Sto giocando con la serie Metal Gear Solid per la prima volta. Mi piace Metal Gear Solid 1, mi piace Metal Gear Solid 2, mi piace Metal Gear Solid 3. A me piace Metal Gear Solid 1, però in questo caso, dai, diamo Mi abbasso un pochettino l'audio. Mi piace Metal Gear Solid 3. Livello di difficoltà? Direi normale, ragazzi. Come dico sempre, questo non è un canale di hardcore gaming, hardcore gamer. Ehm, Giochiamo normale, godiamoci la storia e spero davvero che questa serie vi stia piacendo. Del resto è appena cominciata, quindi solo il tempo ce lo dirà, insomma. Ogni volta è sempre
After
un'emozione
the end of World War
unica
II,
e
the
rara.
world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Esattamente. Guerra fredda, come vi avevo preannunciato. Ovviamente fatemi sapere se l'audio va bene, se lo devo alzare, se lo devo abbassare. Il mio capitolo preferito rimane il primo. No, fai benissimo, Pad.
Altitude 30,000 feet. Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute. All right.
Ok.
Ready to go. Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass.
Finiamo la cutscene e abbasso il volume.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf? He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Che 3D. Con l'effetto del sigaro. Trema il pad.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
L'epicità. Non ci sono altre parole per descrivere questa scena. E io devo necessariamente abbassare il volume, ce l'ho fortissimo. Immagino pure voi. Appena ho il controllo, facciamo tutti i vari settaggi del caso. caricamento.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the Virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the Virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
Buonasera,
Don't
Zurino.
get cocky, this isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB-754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov? Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin to orbit was the A.1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story. So why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first, and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets
Questa è storia,
remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Ed ecco spiegata la missione virtuosa.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino-Yarsk in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the West. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat Talon?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Zero è un grande personaggio, sì. Avremo modo di conoscerlo meglio. Nel frattempo le razioni se ne sono andate a quel paese. Ma siamo riusciti a atterrare almeno. Bello. Con i suoni della giungla. L'ultima. Preferisco Metal Gear Solid 3 tra le preferenze. Eccolo. David Hayter. Sempre presente in questi primi Metal Gear. Sai le differenze? Rinfrescami la memoria.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
Well, you've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might
Non me
not
la
have a
ricordavo.
choice.
What about
Grazie.
you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
Sì. Dobbiamo
I see.
recuperarlo.
Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Ok. Abbiamo ufficialmente il controllo. Io devo apportare delle modifiche. Perché mi sono reso conto, esatto, di un paio di cosette che ostacolano il mio amato controller. Ho notato infatti, non so se avete notato che quando muovevo la levetta si alzava e abbassava il volume del caoso del gioco, però adesso abbiamo risolto, quindi faccio subito così. Siamo tornati su Metal Gear Solid 3. Allora, molto bello il fatto che il nostro caro Zorino, che intanto ne approfitto per salutare e ringraziare, mi ha spiegato le differenze tra le versioni iniziali di... Perfetto, risolto. Le versioni... La selezione iniziale della difficoltà è del preferisco Metal Gear Solid 1 rispetto al 2 rispetto al 3. Se seleziono Metal Gear Solid 1, Snake è senza barba, e se seleziono il 2 ho la maschera di Raiden. Vuoi fare una Peace Walker o giochi normalmente? Voglio giocare normalmente, detto proprio sinceramente e francamente, anche perché come per Metal Gear Solid 2 il 3 l'ho giocato una volta, però a differenza del 2 lo conosco meglio perché ho avuto modo di vederlo giocare un paio di volte a casa di amici. Quindi come potete vedere l'interfaccia di gioco è un po' diversa rispetto a quella di Metal Gear Solid 2. Come vedete abbiamo qua il solito menu delle armi, degli oggetti, ma la particolarità è che adesso è apparsa una nuova interfaccia, l'interfaccia della mimetica, la percentuale che indica quanto siamo ben nascosti in relazione al terreno. E ho appena ucciso una povera rana. Questo perché? Perché in questo gioco c'è una sorta di modalità di sopravvivenza, potendo appunto interagire con l'ambiente circostante e raccogliere le risorse necessarie per procacciarci del cibo e altro. Questo per rendere l'esperienza di gioco quanto più immersiva possibile. Del resto Metal Gear Solid 3 sarebbe dovuto uscire per PlayStation 3, poi però ci sono stati una serie di slittamenti da parte di Sony che ha ben pensato di posticipare l'uscita della console e di conseguenza Metal Gear Solid 3 è uscito per PlayStation 2. Io stesso me ne ricordo 2-3. Ricordati che alle volte durante le cutscene ci sono degli R1 nascosti che puoi premere per vedere la soggettiva di Snake ed alcune... Oh, oh, un serpente, un serpente. Sì, sì, l'abbiamo fatto poco fa. Infatti ho avuto modo di leggerti e ti ringrazio perché onestamente questa cosa proprio non me la ricordavo. Ci sono piccoli accorgimenti che chiaramente a distanza di tutti questi anni non mi ricordo più, però vedi, dovevo abbassare il volume. Forse il volume è troppo alto, devo abbassare il volume. Fatemi sapere se come il volume ci siamo. Intanto recuperiamo. Certo, Snake. Se lo abbassassi un poco è meglio. Ok, allora facciamo un'altra prestidigitalizzazione. Quindi faccio così. Sì, io state vedendo Chirigio. Ciao Chirigio. E siamo tornati con meno 40 decibel rispetto al solito. Ora l'audio è più basso. Ok, chiedo scusa per questi inconvenienti, però va così. Sono caduto di nuovo come un pollo. Forse non devo avere oggetti in inventario per raccoglierlo.
The backpack is on the branch pointing east on that tree, right? Walk along the branch and get it. Be careful not to fall. You should be able to grab your backpack if you hang from the branch by pressing the action button.
Lo stavo premendo, solo che forse c'ho il coltello equipaggiato e quindi non me lo fa prendere. Ok. Abbiamo raccolto il nostro backpack.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it.
Ok.
Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can
Abbiamo già
use either
fatto.
your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun.
Hush
That's
puppy.
right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily wastes. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She.
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a
John
regular
Doe.
Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Major Tom,
I
bellissimo.
wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake. Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
Boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your codename is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes?
It's good to hear your voice again.
Same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC? Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the Major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Ogni tanto quando riproduce i video
Try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
c'è un po' di incertezze. Nel frattempo ricordiamo le basi del CQC, Close Quarter Combat. Sì, Zorino, faremo il possibile sulla base di quello che mi ricordo. Voi siete liberissimi nel suggerire, ma nel non fare troppo babysitting, come direbbe qualcuno. Allora, io direi di salvare la prima cosa. In assoluto.
Saving the game, Snake?
Assolutamente. Salviamo qualora ci fossero problemi.
Hey, Snake, you ever heard of Godzilla, King of Monsters?
Godzilla.
No, what is it?
It's a movie. You haven't seen it?
Nope.
It's about this monster called Godzilla, who grows to an enormous size in a nuclear test and goes on a rampage in Tokyo.
Nuclear test, huh? Then the Marshall Islands must be crawling with giant monsters right about now.
It's just make-believe.
Maybe that's why my pants have been so tight lately.
Snake, it's a
Il
movie,
gioco.
not a report out of Los Alamos.
I know. So then what happened?
Godzilla is immune to all weapons, and humanity has no way to stop the monster. Dr. Shirazawa develops a new type of weapon, but meanwhile, Godzilla is getting closer and closer to Tokyo, obliterating everything in its path. It was originally a Japanese
siamo
movie,
nella
but
giungla.
they made an American version, too. I recommend seeing the original Japanese one if you ever get the chance. It's mostly mindless fun, but it's also got a serious anti-nuke message as well.
Where can I see the original?
You'll just have to go to Japan.
Really? That's too bad.
Well, if you wait 40 years, you might be able to see it in America, too.
Why's that?
2004 will be Godzilla's 50th birthday.
You think they're still going to be making Godzilla movies then?
Of course! Everybody loves Godzilla.
You sure know a lot about movies.
I don't suppose you're the movie-watching type, are you?
Not really.
Okay, then I'll tell you everything I know. When the going gets tough, movies can save your life. It's always good to be able to look at things from a different perspective when you get in a jam. That's the magic of movies.
No kidding. Well, I guess it might at least make a nice distraction.
That's the spirit, Snake. Have a little fun.
Sì, è bellissima questa cosa dei film ed il come Kojima ci trasmette sin dalla prima mezz'ora di gioco il suo amore per la regia, per il cinema, con questa bellissima frase a posteriori sul faranno ancora dei film di Godzilla nel 2004, quando saranno passati 50 anni. Certo, tutti amano Godzilla. Meraviglioso poter riscoprire questi dialoghi insieme a voi, ragazzi. Palude di Dremucci. Dremucci. E anche per la musica. E per tutto. Per tutto ciò che ci fa stare bene nel mondo. Qualsiasi valvola di sfogo, qualsiasi passione che portiamo avanti è sicuramente un ottimo modo per far star bene lo spirito e l'anima. Allora, come potete vedere, il livello di dettaglio è incredibile. Stiamo parlando di un gioco del 2004, signori. E doveva uscire su PS5, più PS3 tra le altre cose. Quello che vedete davanti a voi è un coccodrillo. Il coccodrillo come fa? Pa, 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 pa. Io lo voglio lasciare in pace. C'è. Lì c'è un oggetto e quelle sono sabbie mobili e sto morendo e morirò. Cominciamo benissimo. I migliori gameplay professionali solo su Digilord, il canale che non sbaglia un colpo. E siamo a 1. Allora, queste sono sabbie mobili, giusto? Quindi bisogna in un certo senso essere veloci ma non troppo. Però se arriviamo lì, là c'è un bel coccodrillozzo che ci fa fuori. Più che altro c'è un oggetto interessante da prendere lì. Già le cose cominciano a farsi difficili. E poi la versione americana credo sia parecchio successiva all'anno in cui è ambientato il gioco. Sì, mi pare 2005. Ok, Killer Croc ti fa il Bankai, sì sì. Starò attento. Starò attento, bisogna essere anche tanto pazienti. Ma potenzialmente io potrei sparargli, no? E l'abbiamo narcotizzato. Quindi se io corro non mi sente. Posto. Voglio quell'oggetto. E lo avrò. S1 MK2. Ok, abbiamo recuperato un silenziatore. Guardate il dettaglio del fango sulle gambe del protagonista. A proposito di Jean Reno, mi viene in mente Onimusha 3 che devo recuperare assolutamente.
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Bisogna stare attenti. Sì.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The
Certo.
Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer. The Uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the Face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively.
Le novità.
Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the camo index. The camo index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Non so perché ogni volta che fa vedere i mini player in alto a sinistra il video ha qualche incertezza. Però nulla di grave, fortunatamente. Allora, come potete vedere, come ci ha spiegato The Boss, abbiamo la possibilità di cambiare mimetica. Ad esempio, se indossiamo una mimetica del genere, in un uniforme per la faccia di questo tipo, la nostra mimetica funzionerà al 90%, il che è positivo considerando che questa è una missione di infiltrazione e non vogliamo farci scoprire. Entriamo dentro il tronco. Stiamo molto attenti. Come potete vedere, nella barra in alto a destra c'è la salute di Snake rappresentata dal rettangolino un po' più grande, mentre sotto abbiamo la stamina, che come ci ha detto il nostro Major Tom all'inizio serve per muoverci e tutto. Io potenzialmente lo potrei narcotizzare questo. Potenzialmente. È scappato un colpo. Ok. A proposito di mimetica, la mia domanda sulla Peace Walker era dovuta al fatto che tu i boss non li uccidi, ti dà come premio delle mimetiche uniche. Ok, questo aspetto non me lo ricordavo completamente, però staremo a vedere. Nel Metal Gear Solid 2 non lo abbiamo fatto, perché se ben ricordate su Metal Gear Solid 2 c'era la possibilità Metal Gear Solid 2 c'era la possibilità di stordire i boss anziché ucciderli, quindi vedremo sulla base di come ci sentiremo, se varrà la pena, se... insomma, tutta una serie di cose che scopriremo soltanto andando avanti con questo titolo. Oh. Com'è che l'ho colpito e non si è fatto nulla? What's wrong? Ah, infatti. No, non stavo capendo il perché. Io dovevo ricordarmi però come si fa a deselezionare l'arma dopo che che è il colpo in canna. Esploriamo un pochettino. Visore termico. Questo ci tornerà sicuramente utile. E lì troviamo il primo oggetto collezionabile. Le rane. Che fanno questo terribile suono. Se non sbaglio qui dovrebbe esserci un animale unico. Addirittura. No, sugli animali, la caccia, questo genere di particolarità non sono esperto come sicuramente Zorino è. Però è una rana un po' particolare. Faccio un nido dei calabroni. E Snake sorride perché ha in mente un'idea. Stai giù, Snake. Girati per favore. Ok, abbiamo allontanato quella guardia. Ok, siamo al ponte. Static Snake. Più Gen Wiggy Wiggy sembra Rom Romeo. Vero. Romeo Romeo. Ok. Fatemi un po' esplorare. Tipo se vado qua. Cosa c'è? Ah ah. Io ormai riesco a prevedere le battute di Zorino. Non so se sia un bene per la mia sanità mentale. No. Due. Mi sono sentito come Yotobi con il primo Dark Souls. Che disgrazia veramente. Per fortuna abbiamo recuperato a 3 secondi. Sì, più o meno è successo quello a Snake poco fa. Roberto. Da missione virtuosa a missione uggiosa è un attimo. La curiosità uccide il serpente. Più che altro quando siamo su un burrone io ho premuto il tasto azione, però non ha funzionato. Vabbè, ora stiamo attenti, dai. Immagino Snake mentre cade che urla Roberto. Ci sta, ci sta. Tra l'altro Sekiro, altro grande titolo che dobbiamo assolutissimamente recuperare. Auguratemi buona fortuna. Ok. XM 16 e 1. Tieni una visuale soggettiva e mira alla spalla, alterna modalità di tiro. Ok. Ottimo. Abbiamo trovato un fucile da cecchino. Niente male per essere le prime fasi del gioco. Un'azione c'è stata, magari non quella che volevi. Eh sì, ho premuto tasto sbagliato. Allora, qua adesso dovrebbero essere tornati i nostri beniamini. Fatemi dare un'occhiata. Magari... Sento dei passi. Eccolo. Mamma mia. Mamma mia, sono un esercito. Siamo l'esercito della giungla. E io sparo un colpo a caso così non se ne accorge nessuno. E adesso io mi dileguo. Ho un po' paura che mi sgamino. E faccio così. E me ne vado di là. Nessuno se ne accorgerà. Arrivederci e grazie. Mi premo del tasto triangolo. Ok. No, l'avevo premuto ma singolarmente, quindi non avevo tenuto premuto. Ok, grazie mille. Poi ho premuto A come un deficiente, sono caduto. I rigurgiti di matematica? Ah, per l'asse Y.
I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump.
Questo posto è una topaia.
I can't see Sokolov from here. The security is pretty tight.
Che bella questa alternanza tra la terza e la soggettiva
There
con
are
questi
sentries
filmati.
posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
Your
Abbastanza.
objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
And that is?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
Allora, intanto salviamo. Io ad ogni nuova area salvo sempre perché sono una persona che ha paura di fare un passo e doverlo rifare, quindi per evitare di rifare le cose salviamo.
Do you know the creature from the Black Lagoon?
Nope, never heard of it.
These scientists are investigating a place deep in the Amazon called the Black Lagoon, and they get picked off one after the other by this fishman thing. And there was this scene when the heroine is going for a swim and the creature sneaks up on her from underwater. Oh, I thought my heart was going to stop. I mean, of course, the 3D effects in It Came from Outer Space were a lot more intense, but...
It wouldn't be referring to you coming from outer space, would it?
How rude! Why do you say that?
Because no one on Earth could be as charming as you.
Fine, I'll just get to the point, Snake.
Sempre
Be careful
rubacuori.
of what's around you when you're in the water. Just imagining you swimming in those jungle rivers makes me think of you being attacked by a fishman.
I appreciate the concern.
Fishmen aren't the only things that'll attack you in the water. Really be careful out there.
Okay.
And don't be attacking any pretty girls going for a swim, either.
Are you calling me a fishman?
You started it.
Sempre cascamorto Snake. Una volta il nostro disse, puntini disse che se fosse stato un personaggio della Metal Gear Solid Saga sarebbe stato sicuramente Major Zero. Mai paragone fu così distante dalla realtà. Se avesse detto un qualsiasi altro sarebbe stato sicuramente più adatto. Per me puntini potrebbe solo ed esclusivamente ricoprire un ruolo nella Dragon Ball Saga, giusto per commemorare Toriyama, e l'unico ruolo che gli affibbierei sarebbe quello di Kiyui. Adesso possiamo andare avanti. Dov'è l'arma che ho preso? Che strano che non mi fa vedere l'arma. Molto strano. Forse il... no. Eccolo. l'X-M1 è 1. È possibile mettere il silenziatore? Non mi pare. Somiglia di più a un Saibam. Ma almeno i Saibam fanno qualcosa di utile. Kiyui no. Ci avviciniamo con fare furtivo. Come vedete la mimetica perde la sua efficacia quando tocchiamo la terra. Però a noi non ce ne frega niente. E andiamo avanti. E anche qui possiamo nascondere i soldati, che però in questo momento stanno benissimo dove stanno perché sono dello stesso colore del terriccio. Vorrei quell'oggetto tantissimo. Ok. No, devo premere start. Voglio cambiare mimetica perché adesso stiamo raggiungendo qualcosa di simile mattone. Chiaramente la bandiera italiana è ottima per mimetizzarsi. No, sto scherzando ovviamente. Però sì, è possibile mettere le mimetiche. Qua c'è la maschera, una maschera che penso alcuni di voi conosceranno. E abbiamo per esempio i riquadri che sono utili. Vediamo se funziona. Infatti la mimetica è passata al 50%. Il tempo alle volte può essere monolitico se ci pensi. Sembra un tifoso, sì, abbastanza. Bello che non mi sta vedendo. Sono salito qua per prendere questi oggetti. Ok, abbiamo il silenziatore del fucilozzo. Devo solo ricordarmi come si monta. Ok. Non si sa mai, può tornare utile. Non sarà al pari di un'arma, di una pistola, però può sempre tornare utile. Allora. Guardate quante scorciatoie e sotterfugi ci sono qua. Poi ci sono i topini, esattamente come su Metal Gear Solid 1. Vi ricordate quando ci siamo infiltrati nella base antartica di Artica di Shadow Moses? Abbiamo un Serpentopulos. Noi dobbiamo raggiungere la parte superiore, quindi adesso troviamo un modo per uscire. Come vedete, qualcuno ha sentito questo suono. Qualcosa mi dice che la cosa migliore da fare è uscire da quella parte. Il suono proprio che entra dentro le orecchie. Ah, lì c'è un barile. Potenzialmente si potrebbe sfruttare, però preferisco sparare. Ok, occhio. Occhi ben aperti. Abbiamo ancora l'uniforme un po' sbagliata, però.
Who's that? Radio, where's our backup?
Cazzo.
HQ respond. This is HQ. Requesting backup. Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements.
Siamo pronti per il nostro primo time paradox?
I see him.
Cosa ne pensi, Rob, delle nuove macchine che Kojima inserisce in ogni capitolo della saga? Per esempio, meccaniche forse, sì, perché ho letto macchine, boh. Per esempio la sopravvivenza con il fatto che si debba mangiare, eccetera, viene ancora usata in giochi più o meno recenti. Cosa ne pensi? È una bella domanda la tua. Secondo me per un gioco come Metal Gear Solid non ci sta tanto, però il fatto che il buon Kojimone voleva sperimentare gli rende veramente onore. Anche perché è una di quelle persone che non sa stare fermo e si è visto con le sue produzioni. Io devo andare via da qua. Come potete vedere basta pochissimo per compromettere completamente la situazione. Facciamo dormire un altro po'. Tra poco il silenziatore finirà. Ok, posto perfetto per nascondersi. C'è da dire che la sopravvivenza per come l'ha intesa Kojima è un po' diversa dalla sopravvivenza che è stata oggetto di culto per i survival dal 2010 in poi. Però chiaramente nel 2004 non era banale parlare di una meccanica del genere. Mi sa che se la cautela non se ne va, noi non possiamo lasciare, non possiamo interagire con la porta. La meccanica di sopravvivenza credo ci fosse già dai primi Fallout e Elder Scrolls, ma potrei sbagliarmi. Comunque, al di là di questo dettaglio, vedere le innovazioni meccaniche di Kojima è sempre bello e bene o male sono sempre ben contestualizzate. Sì, sì, sì. In questo caso era necessario, visto che sarebbe stata un'operazione in mezzo alla giungla e le risorse per poter agire e in un certo senso sopravvivere in un terreno così ostile erano poche da portarsi appresso. Hanno ben pensato di implementare questa meccanica anche per mostrare la flora e la fauna della giungla, cioè veramente ben contestualizzato. Però io ho necessità di mangiare, cioè più che mangiare cercare di incrementare un po' la mia stamina. Raganella non ancora mangiata, sapore sconosciuto. Fungo d'inchiostro siberiano non ancora mangiato, sapore sconosciuto. È il momento di testare i funghi. Scarso recupero del vigore. E la raganella? Non gli piacciono molto. Tra le altre cose è possibile far vomitare Snake. Non ricordo con che cosa in particolare, però compiendo determinati movimenti si può addirittura fargli venire le vertigini. Non ricordo se... recupero la chat indifferita perché così non riesco. Nel frattempo... Ok. Non ricordo se... è vero che di base non ci sta come meccanica, ma se tu pensi al taglio anni 70 con tante ispirazioni a Rambo, per esempio, però se tu pensi al passaggio notte e giorno, animali unici, alcuni possono essere catturati come esche. Certo, certo, da questo punto di vista non posso che essere contento di quelle che sono state le nuove implementazioni al gioco. Povero Snake, adesso sono curiosa. E lo vedrai. Intanto andiamo avanti con la quest, sperando di non farci beccare. Ok. Eccolo qui, Sokolov. I piani segreti.
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Vulcan's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of Gru. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Eh sì, manca un po' a tutti.
Never heard of him.
Manca un po' a tutti David Hayter.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the GRU. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power. The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come, I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
By the way, your Russian is superb.
Hmm.
Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America's truly a frightening country.
Having second thoughts?
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
Bene.
Major, this is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
I had to kill them. There was no other way. But no one will know we were involved.
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
Scena cartone animato questa, tantissimo. Con le teste che sporgono. Con le mani, guardate Sokolov. Cosa fa? La sfera energetica, cosa fa? Cosa fa? Personaggio stravagante.
please.
Ci avete scoperto già da prima, quindi...
So this is the legendary boss.
Oh yeah.
We meet at last.
You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz. What's a Gru soldier doing here?
Soldier?
He's the Ocelot commander.
That's Major Ocelot to you. And don't you forget it.
Il giovane Ocelot, signori.
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here.
And Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
Questa scena. Fatto rimbalzare la pallottola. Se non ci pensa bene, tutta la saga si basa anche su questo incontro. Eh sì.
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the Gru.
Sokolov, take cover.
Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
Crew operatives?
What is that stance? Huh. That gun. If you're not the boss, then die.
E si è inceppata.
Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one! Whoa!
Che regia, signori.
You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do. But testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Che scena meravigliosa.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you all right?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according to Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgan's.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
Ok. Io devo mostrare questa cosa.
You want to save?
Zorino mi ha già capito. Tanto salviamo. E vi faccio vedere questa chicca.
Snake, have you heard of It Came from Outer Space?
Yeah, you told me already.
So this astronomer sees a meteor, but it's really an alien spaceship, right? And the aliens start replacing the townspeople with clones and forcing them to help repair the ship. The 3D effects were quite realistic.
I've got all the real I can handle here in the jungle.
No, you don't get it. Precisely because it's realistic, with the images jumping out of the screen at you, it makes for a nice escape from reality. I have to admit it made my eyes tired, but it was really intense. Unfortunately, they don't make very many of those movies anymore.
When did it come out?
I was still in college, so probably about 10 years ago?
Guess I'm out of luck then.
You know, they're coming out with household versions of video cassette recorders. One day you'll be able to see old movies anytime you want. It'll be like having a movie theater in your own home.
Really?
It's like if you had a record with movie film etched onto it instead of music. It'll work the same way.
You're kidding.
No, really. And someday they might make movies where you control the characters yourself.
Sounds like magic.
It'll happen. Make sure you stay alive to see it, Snake.
Che bello. Che meraviglia. Maestro, non ci lasciare prematuramente pure tu, per favore. Ti scongiuro. Il mondo ha bisogno di persone come Hideo Kojima. Comunque volevo farvi vedere questa cosa. Se noi adesso sparassimo a Ocelot,
Snake, you can't do that. The future will change. You'll create a time paradox.
paradosso temporale. Guardate le lettere. Quando uno è Dio. Eh sì. Time Paradox. Bellissimo, bellissimo. Ok, abbiamo fatto la Kojimata e ora andiamo a recuperare Sokolov. Dove si è cacciato? Sokolov. Dov'è? Sokolov, dove stai? Quando stai, eh? Qua c'era una botola, tra l'altro. Memorizziamola perché può tornarci molto utile. Alla ricerca di Sokolov. Eh sì. Wow è la parola esatta. Harlock. Dove se n'è andato Sokolov, raga? È scomparso per sempre? Boh, prima di andare nell'area precedente. Come vedete la stamina scende.
You okay? Those men were from the Ocelot unit.
Spetsnaz?
Yes. The best crew has to offer. They're coming for me. I'm finished!
Calm down. I'll get you out of here, I promise. And we've got some of the best backup we could ask for.
Look.
That's what they were making you build?
Yes. The Shagahod. The treading behemoth. A tank capable of launching nuclear IRBMs.
It can launch nuclear missiles from that kind of terrain?
Oh, yes. And without support from friendly units.
A nuclear-equipped tank capable of operating solo. Is that thing finished?
No. This is only the end of Phase 1. It won't be truly finished until we complete Phase 2.
Phase 2?
The weapon's true form. If it is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it, it will mean the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War?
Yes. And then the Age of Fear will truly begin.
A world war?
I had no choice but to cooperate. I didn't want to die. I wanted to see my wife and child again in America. Please, take me to America, quickly. They cannot complete it without my help.
Got it. Let's go.
Molto bene. Vi sta piacendo, ragazzi? Era come ve lo ricordate? Mette. Cosa ne pensi? The Boss.
Boss?
Ovviamente per chi non l'ha mai giocato, fatemi sapere cosa ve ne sta sembrando. Era sottinteso.
Good work, Jack.
What are you doing here?
Sokolov comes with me.
Oh oh.
Hornets.
No, no, lei è the boss e basta.
My friends, let us fight together again.
I have waited long for this day.
We will fight with you once more. Welcome back, boss.
Now that all 5 of us are together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself.
Mi fa molto piacere, Matt. Sono contento.
It's raining blood. Is he crying?
Stanno accadendo tutta una serie di cose paranormali, come state avendo modo di vedere. Ed eccolo là.
Kuwabara,
Kuwabara, Kuwabara. Eh sì, ne ha parecchie. E come?
Ah, what a joyful scene.
Colonel Vogan.
Welcome to my country. And to my unit.
Boss, what is this?
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Recoilless nuclear warheads. These will make a fine gift for me.
This can't be happening.
Who is he? Another one of your disciples? Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. Too pure for us Cobras.
Cobra?
He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
What are you talking about?
Think you can pull the trigger?
Gli ha smontato l'arma a tempo 2 secondi.
He's seen my face. We can't let him live. If Khrushchev finds out about this, we're finished. He must die.
Wait. He's my apprentice. I'll take care of him. Jack, you can't come with us.
Più o meno quello che è successo poco fa.
The new blood has been rejected. Are we done here?
Now, onto Sokolov's research facility.
Shagohod is ours.
Drift away. My place is with them now.
Kuwabara, Kuwabara. Raga, che dire? Ci sono troppe cose da dire. Questa scena è importantissima, come diceva Zorino prima. E assistiamo a un vero e proprio battesimo della giungla e al relativo tradimento di The Boss, che cambia un po' le carte in tavola per tutta una serie di ragioni. In più Snake ha il braccio rotto.
Snake, can you hear me?
Yeah. Just barely.
Snake, listen to me. You need emergency medical treatment. Can you move? You've got to get those wounds treated. Hang in there. All right, let's get you fixed up. Paramedic?
Okay, Snake. Just relax and it'll all be over before you know it. Stay with me. I've seen people in worse shape before. Think you can handle it?
Major. The boss. She's defected.
We'll talk about that later. First, we've got to get you patched up.
Okay, here we go. First,
Ti è bloccato?
open the survival viewer with
Okay.
the start button. If you select cure, you can start the treatment. Healing is divided into treatment using medicine with the item window button and surgical treatment using the weapon window button. Your injuries include a fractured left elbow and rib bone, and lacerations on your upper arms, right elbow, and abdomen. They need to be fixed using surgical treatment. Move the healing cursor with the left stick to the affected part of your body. Once you've selected the affected area, hold the weapon window button and use the left stick to select the medical item, and then press the enter button. With this method, you can use items to help your recovery process. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it. For lacerations, you'll need disinfectant to clean the wound, sutures to stitch it up, styptic to slow the flow of blood, and bandages to wrap the wound. If you do everything I mentioned, the wound should heal completely. Understood?
Yeah.
Stay with me. Go into the survival viewer and treat those wounds.
Stay with me. Ok, come vedete non possiamo muoverci, quindi per prima cosa bisogna curarsi, sì. E il sistema di cura è veramente interessante, ma tra le altre cose era già presente nel 2, con il sistema di bende più che di cura, però qua abbiamo tutta una serie di novità, ad esempio le varie radiografie e le condizioni delle singole parti del corpo. Chiaramente siamo caduti da un'altezza considerevole, quindi bisogna intervenire. Allora, taglio, condizione. Riportato un taglio profondo, emorragia, nessuna benda applicata, disinfezione non ancora eseguita. Quindi è una... dobbiamo utilizzare il disinfettante. Applichiamo una benda. Taglio profondo. Quindi per un taglio profondo ci ci serve il kit di sutura. Prima ci curiamo, Zorino. Oddio, in realtà l'emostatico immagino, sì. Ok. Quindi per i tagli, emostatico, kit di sutura, disinfettante e benda. Benda, kit di sutura, emostatico. Osso fratturato. Per l'osso mi sa che la stecca è il caso. Stessa cosa qui. Bene, ci siamo ripresi. Ecco, questa è una meccanica che avrebbe meritato più fortuna e che stranamente è stata poco sfruttata anche laddove sarebbe stata interessante, ad esempio in un The Last of Us. E il fatto è che su The Last of Us i clicker non sono in grado di infliggere questo genere di fratture. I clicker agiscono e basta. Ti mordono e sei morto. Però nei survival chiaramente ci sono questo genere di cose. Una delle cose che si avvicina di più a quello che stiamo avendo modo di vedere con Metal Gear Solid 3, ad esempio, è su Fallout 3, con gli steampack che era possibile utilizzare in base all'arto interessato. Però lì parliamo di 4 anni di distanza.
We're coming to get you now. Just stay where you are. We'll drop a recovery balloon. Can you set it up?
Pallone di recupero. Leggero da trasportare. The boss sa che Snake è ancora vivo. È vero che ci sono scontri a fuoco e danni da caduta, però lì volevano puntare tutto sulla narrazione. Qua invece assistiamo ad una vera e propria sperimentazione. Caccia la testata nucleare.
Excellent. A great success. Thanks to the boss and her cobras, I have both Sokolov and the Shagohod.
What are we going to do with the girl?
Who is she?
Apparently she's Sokolov's woman.
She's a nice catch. I'll take her. Not so fast, my dear. kiss of death?
Are you KGB?
We may be able to use her. She has spunk.
Shall we take her back to the base?
Perhaps we should. We have no further use for Sokolov's research facility. I think it's time I gave this marvelous new toy a try.
Colonel, even if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger. It'll be our friend, the American defector.
You're going to nuke your fellow Russians?
Remember the Alamo.
Colonel!
Il fungo atomico. Da notare che questo sembra un colpo di testa, una roba senza senso, questa azione di Volgin. Vero, verissimo. Infatti ha detto non sarò io a premere il grilletto, ma la nostra traditrice americana. Insomma, le cose non si mettono molto bene per Snake. Non sono passate neanche 2 ore e già c'è tanta carne al fuoco. E abbiamo solamente fatto il prologo. Godiamoci questa intro.
And silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart. But you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Someday you go through the rain, and someday you'll feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive. For the day we see new light, I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else.
No, ci sono altri nomi però.
It's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
Bellissima. Penso proprio che questo VOD sarà censurato per motivi di copyright, però ci stava. Sì, sì, qua era umile. Era molto umile.
Currently flying over the Arctic Ocean, altitude 30,000 feet, approaching Soviet airspace. Arriving at the designated drone launch point. Drone oil pressure and voltage are nominal. Payload oxygen supply is nominal. Power supply to payload antifreeze system shows no problems. No gusts. All systems go for drone detachment.
Snake, we can't risk a halo jump this time around. Airspace security has gotten tighter since we were last here. We can't get as close to the ground as we did during the Virtuosa mission. So instead, we'll be using one of our newest weapons. Snake, you're being given an honor on par with Alan Shepard. This is our last chance. Show your patriotism. If you fail, you'll be back in a hospital bed again, waiting for the firing squad. So how does it feel to be a patient in one of the most advanced ICUs in the world?
Would you do me a favor and tell the suits about visiting hours? I'll never get better with them assaulting me day and night with their questions.
Must be part of the top brass's inquiry.
More like an interrogation. According to them, I'm a traitor and an accomplice to the boss's defection.
They're just looking for a scapegoat.
Does that mean they're after you too?
Let's just say neither one of us is going to be made a national hero out of this.
Does this mean Fox is going to die?
No. This Fox is still one step ahead of the hounds. The reason I came to see you today, Jack, it's time for Fox to clear its name.
What are you talking about?
The situation has changed. We've still got a chance to come out of this one alive.
Yeah, what kind of chance?
Don't get too excited. Here, have a cigar. It's Cuban. This morning, I had a meeting with the CIA.
They decided when they're going to execute us?
No. Something even bigger. Yesterday, the White House received an unexpected call.
President Johnson?
Yes, I hear you, Mr. Chairman.
It was a hotline call from Khrushchev to President Johnson.
From the head of the Soviet Union?
That's right.
A few days ago, one of our country's main design bureaus, OKB-754, was destroyed in a nuclear explosion.
Esatto.
At about the same time, our anti-aircraft radar picked up a signature that appeared to come from one of your military aircraft. Does any of this sound familiar to you? In retaliation, I have placed our armed forces on secondary alert. Depending on your response, I may be left with no choice but to order the military to maximum alert and unleash Armageddon. With the help of your predecessor, I was able to survive the Cuban incident. But my power is not as great as it once was. If I am to survive this crisis, I must have your full cooperation.
I should have contacted you myself. Did you know that one of our soldiers defected to your country a week ago?
No.
So you haven't heard that. The man who arranged the defection was a GRU colonel by the name of Yevgeny Borosovich Volgin.
Volgin? Of the Brezhnev faction. Go on. Who is the soldier?
Her name is the Boss. She's a living legend. During World War II, she was the one who led us to victory in that war. In Russia, you know her as Voyevoda.
You mean the Boss? The mother of your special forces?
Yes, that's the one. And she took 2 miniature nuclear shells along with her.
The Boss took 2 miniature nuclear shells.
I'm afraid so. I believe they were a gift for her new hosts. The Davy Crockett Atomic Battle Group delivery system was completed 2 years ago. But serious problems were found with the launcher's range and precision. Although they were mass-produced, they've never been deployed in battle.
But Sokolov's research facility was completely wiped out. The whole area is polluted.
I can only offer you my deepest condolences over this terrible tragedy.
So, the boss, with Colonel Volgin's help, stole 2 experimental nuclear shells and took them with her as gift when she defected. Then, shortly thereafter, Sokolov's design lab, a top-secret military research facility, was destroyed by one of these weapons. Am I right so far?
Esatto.
Yes, that's correct.
And the American government denies any involvement in the affair. Is that right as well?
That's correct. We were not involved in any way.
Then what was a U.S. military aircraft doing on our radar screen? It was clearly in a violation of our airspace. And yet you say it was not acting under your orders.
That's correct.
You expect me to believe that this was all the work of a single soldier?
I don't know what else to tell you.
The army insists that this is all a ploy on your part.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Our government had nothing to do with it.
And I would like dearly to believe you. However, I'm afraid my power over the military has weakened since the Cuban incident. I will need some kind of proof that this was not the action of the American government. You have 1 week. You must catch the boss yourselves and recover the remaining nuclear device. Then, you must find some way to prove your innocence.
Prove our innocence?
Yes, preferably something painful. Prove to me that this is not merely another one of your tricks.
The boss should be close to Colonel Volgin. How about a little co-action?
I would not expect too much if I were you. The political situation here is unstable. And Colonel Volgin is a member of the Brezhnev faction, which seeks to topple my government. 1 week. You have only 1 week. And if it is not too much to ask, do something about Volgin as well.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing means nothing. Call it a modest gentleman's agreement to ensure our continued relationship.
What if we can't prove our innocence?
Then I will be unable to restrain the military. I will be ousted, and they will seek their revenge.
A nuclear attack on the United States?
I leave the disposal of this situation entirely to your discretion, Mr. President.
Disposal?
If you fail, it will mean the beginning of a new world war.
To put it simply, in order to avoid a full-scale nuclear conflict, we have to prove that America was not involved in that explosion.
And eliminating the boss ourselves will prove America's innocence?
Right. The higher-ups have decided that you're the only one capable of pulling this off. You were her last apprentice. Screw this one up, and we'll both be 6 feet under. There's no choice.
Are the Russians going to be helping us?
The KGB has promised to lend us one of their communications satellites so that you and I can talk to each other.
That's it?
They've also put us in touch with a couple of insiders.
Insiders?
There was a defection in September 1960. Do you remember it?
You mean the 2 NSA codebreakers who went over to the Soviet Union?
Precisely. Since then, they've apparently been training with the KGB for exactly this kind of situation. Their code names are Adam and Eva. I've been told that Adam has infiltrated Volgin's ranks. We've also arranged for him to provide you with an escape route. You'll need to rendezvous with him when you get there.
Importantissimi Adam e Eva.
Unidentified aircraft detected. Altitude 30,000 feet. It's fast. Estimated airspeed exceeding Mach 3. Bearing south. I'm about to lose it.
Oh, grazie. Penso di aver ucciso i padiglioni auricolari di qualcuno con questo raid, però grazie mille Ray. Grazie mille caro, come stai? Come va che si dice? Benvenuti i Ray users. E stiamo giocando a Metal Gear Solid 3. Io sono Digirort. Faccio prevalentemente giochi di nicchia e non con queste saghe epica. Finito Mario Land 2? Dai, buono, buono. La Sardegna è stata risvegliata. Cazzo, effettivamente dovevo abbassare l'alert. Scusate. Spero di non avere rotto i padiglioni auricolari di nessuno. Intanto facciamo un bel SEO.
This is Snake. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. Glad to see you landed safely.
I got blown pretty far off target.
Snake, let's go over your mission objectives one more time. Rescue Sokolov. Find out what's happened to the Shagahod, then destroy it. And finally, eliminate the boss.
Eliminate the boss.
This mission will be codenamed Operation Snake Eater.
Because I'll be taking on the boss in our Cobra unit, right?
Don't forget about Colonel Volgin.
I'm not a hired killer.
I know, but that was the Kremlin's demand.
Colpa di Samurai per questo alert.
You mean it
Ci tengo a
wasn't just a
dirlo.
request? What's it to us if the Khrushchev regime is threatened by the colonel and his faction?
If supporting the current regime helps us avoid a nuclear exchange, then that's what we'll do.
And what are the CIA's demands?
Our priorities are the rescue of Sokolov and the destruction of the Shagahod.
Ha ufficialmente inizio l'operazione Snake Eater,
Hold on,
ragazzi.
Snake.
What now?
I'm changing my codename. It turns out Tom wasn't the most auspicious choice.
What do you mean?
Well, the truth is, when I chose my codename, I picked the wrong one.
The wrong one?
Did you ever see the movie The Great Escape? It came out last year.
Bellissima la grande fuga, recuperatevelo.
Anyway, it's based on a true story about prisoners who escaped from a
Steve
POW camp in
McQueen.
Nazi Germany. The prisoners dig 3 tunnels as
Bellissimo,
part of
hanno
their
fatto
plan,
pure il videogioco di
but the
PS2
Nazis
della
find
grande
2 of the
fuga.
tunnels before they're finished.
Bellissimo pure
Prisoners
quello.
succeed in escaping by using the last remaining tunnel. The names of those 3 tunnels were Dick, Harry, and Tom.
I get it. You used the name of the tunnel they escaped in as your code name because you thought it would bring you good luck.
Yes, that's exactly right. At least, that was the plan. But I got the name wrong. The one they escaped in was Harry. Tom was one of the unlucky tunnels. It was discovered by the Nazis before it was finished.
Scaramantico.
I watched the movie again just to make sure. In fact, I even ordered the actual film from the movie company.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the greatest name to use. So what should I call you?
You know, let's just use Zero, like we've been doing all along.
All right then. Major Zero it is.
Infatti è cambiato
We'll start
subito.
over from square one.
From square zero. My frequency is 140.85. Oh, I almost forgot. Paramedic is with us again on this mission.
Is this her last chance too?
If we fail, she'll have her medical license revoked. It's more or less the same kind of fate. Her frequency is the same as during the Virtuous mission, 145.73. She'll be recording your mission data as well, just like the last time. That frequency is also the same, 140.96. And there's one more person on your support team. His name is Mr. Sigint. He's an expert on the latest in weapons and equipment technology. You'll be going up against some of the world's most advanced weaponry when you infiltrate the research facility. If you have any questions, just ask him. His frequency is 148.41.
Mr. Sigint. Got it.
Adam, your KGB contact, is waiting for you at the abandoned factory up ahead.
The same factory Sokolov was being held in last week.
Yes,
Esatto.
meet up with Adam first. He's cleared the way for you to rescue Sokolov.
How will I know this Adam guy when I see him?
You'll know once you reach the factory. The whole area's been polluted by the fallout from that nuclear blast. No one else would dare come close. The password is, "Who are the Patriots?" and Lali Lulelo.
Lali Lulelo. Gotcha.
You've been equipped with a
Ve lo
45
ricordate, la
for this mission.
Lello?
Be careful, it's noisy.
I thought standard Fox procedure was procure on-site weapons acquisition.
The circumstances are different this time. You're now on an official mission for the United States government. It would be necessary to make your presence known to a certain extent, to the Khrushchev regime at the very least. But remember, this is still a sneaking mission. Snake, if you fail this mission, it will mean an all-out nuclear war. Keep that in mind.
Una
and
robetta
proceed
da
with
niente,
extreme
insomma,
caution.
una cosa da poco.
Understood. Commencing Operation Snake Eater.
Tra parentesi, operazione mangia serpenti, bello specificarlo. Eccoci ragazzi, abbiamo finito il prologo e abbiamo dato il via alle danze con quello che è l'operazione Snake Eater. Come possiamo vedere abbiamo tutta una serie di oggetti, mi rendo conto che i dialoghi e le sequenze filmate sono state superiori e maggiori rispetto alle sequenze in game, questo perché Kojima è un gran burlone, poi è un grande regista a seconda dei punti di vista. Io volevo provare a prendere quelle mele, ma qui c'è una creatura particolare. Ho un normalissimo serpente. Volevo quelle mele. Oh, grazie mille, Ray. Grazie mille per la sub. Buonanotte, buonanotte. Anzi, grazie mille per il ride e tutto quanto. Buonanotte, buonanotte. Buonanotte a chi va, ovviamente. Noi saremo qui ogni domenica a portare saghe epiche come questa. Dopo la Metal Gear Saga pensavo di portare la God of War Saga e tutta una serie di altre grandi saghe del passato. Mentre il giovedì per il momento stiamo giocando a Heavenly Sword di Ninja Theory, non so se avete presente. Ok, quindi ci troviamo una settimana dopo la missione virtuosa e se avete fatto caso Snake adesso ha una bandana che è proprio la bandana di The Boss perché gliel'ha strappata sul ponte. Questo è un dettaglio non indifferente, come non è indifferente il fatto che adesso la nostra missione prioritaria sia proprio quella di sconfiggere e porre fine alla vita di The Boss definitivamente, proprio perché siamo gli unici in grado di farlo, visto che siamo stati il suo allievo, il suo ultimo allievo prima di dare il via a tutto questo complotto. Si sente il nitrito di un cavallo e quello è un bel serpentello, guardate lì, che carino. Purtroppo non è possibile colpirlo con il coltello, quindi devo necessariamente o utilizzare una granata stordente o sparargli un colpo. Buonanotte Matt, buonanotte. Grazie mille per esserci stato. Ringrazio sempre tutti coloro che decidono di fermarsi qui, passare per un saluto, farmi compagnia. Cavallo bianco di Napoleone.
Looks like death wasn't ready for you yet.
Boss.
That arm still hurt?
What are you doing here?
Gliel'ha rotta di nuovo.
Go home. Gru and my sons are waiting up ahead. You don't have a prayer of finishing your mission. You're not even armed.
Boss.
I'm not your boss anymore. There's nothing for you here. Go home. Go back to your boss. There's no need to prove that you are virtuous here. This isn't America. That should stir things up a bit. You'd better hurry. The border is 60 miles south of here. You ought to be able to run that far.
Why'd you defect?
I didn't. I'm loyal to the end, to my purpose. What about you, Jack? What's it going to be? Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? Your country or your old mentor? The mission or your beliefs? Your duty to your unit or your personal feelings? You don't know the truth yet. But sooner or later you'll have to choose. I don't expect you to forgive me. But you can't defeat me either. You know me too well. Just look at that bandana. If you can't put the past behind you, you won't survive long. If we meet again, I'll kill you. Now, go home.
This is Snake. Major Zero.
I read you, Snake.
I was ambushed by the boss.
You were what?
The drone's been shot to hell. It's up in flames.
That's not good. Enemy scouts are going to come looking for you.
Yeah, I know. But what was the boss doing here in the first place? There's got to be a leak somewhere.
No, that's impossible. The man the boss is working with, Volgin, isn't exactly on speaking terms with Khrushchev.
I lost my gun. The boss destroyed it.
Snake, I know how you're feeling. It's hard for me to believe, too, that a legendary hero like the boss would go over to the Russians. That she'd double-cross us like this. But that's how it is, and if you don't accept it, you'll never be able to beat her.
That's not the problem. In terms of sheer technique, I'll never be able to beat her. I know that all too well.
You've got to do it, Snake. She's your enemy and your objective.
Enemy? We were together for 10 years, and now you tell me she's my enemy?
Enough. Hurry to the factory where Adam is waiting. Scouts have probably already been sent out to investigate the explosion. You've lost your weapon, right? That means you've got no chance of winning in a battle situation. Whatever you do, don't let them see you.
Ok. Salviamo subito.
Paramedic.
Snake, it's so good to hear from you again.
Same here. It's been a week, hasn't it?
4 days, actually.
Huh?
I visited you in the hospital. You were still unconscious, though.
Then you must have seen me naked.
Yeah, but you were all wrapped up in bandages and tubes, so I couldn't do anything but look.
Better luck next time.
Let's hope so. But seriously, don't forget that you were like that until just yesterday. In fact, you really shouldn't even be on this mission. Keep an eye on your stamina gauge. If you start to run low, don't push yourself. Eat something to replenish your stamina. And try not to get yourself hurt. If you're wounded or get bitten by a venomous animal, go into the survival viewer immediately and treat yourself using Cure.
Yeah. I can see you still know how to nag.
You're welcome. And I can see you still don't know when to keep your mouth shut.
Maybe so. By the way, I heard you're going to lose your medical license if this mission fails.
Yes, there was talk of that, but the mission won't fail, will it?
Of course not.
Good. I believe in you. But you know what? I really don't care about my medical license.
Didn't they use that to force you to participate in this operation?
No, I volunteered.
Why?
So that I could watch over you. Snake, you're the best agent I've ever seen. But you push yourself too hard. You're reckless. Someone has to stop you from getting into trouble, to make sure you and the boss don't kill each other. So that's why I volunteered. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better guardian angel than me, right?
Thanks.
Stop right there.
Huh?
You can thank me when you get back.
All right.
È il momento di salvare. Quasi quasi potremmo pure fermarci qua, nel senso che il mio obiettivo oggi era arrivare al prologo, però
Ok, good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
potremmo pure provare ad andare più avanti. Vediamo. La parte iniziale di Metal Gear Solid 3 è particolarmente lenta. Bravo. Non abbiamo più armi in tutto questo, quindi dobbiamo agire un poco in maniera cauta. Che dici, Pad? Hai sonno? Vuoi staccare? Stacchiamo.
What's wrong?
Che è successo?
HQ.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. We have evidence of an enemy intruder. Commence alert formation.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
Ah, perché hanno trovato il disastro. E beh, la situazione è un po' drammatica, ragazzi. Dobbiamo ovviamente cambiare mimetica. Un po' così. Sì, anche io non sto particolarmente sveglio, però voglio andare un minimo più avanti. Ma non sei tu, sono io. No, vabbè, immagino anche che un gioco come Metal Gear Solid con tutti quei dialoghi, capisco anche che possa far riflettere tanto.
Nobody here.
Però dai, almeno il raid vi ha svegliato. Tra lavoro e live ho visto abbastanza russi veloci. No, io onestamente sono stato a casa questa settimana a riposo. Sono stato un pochettino malato, però già da domani riprendo a pieno regime la palestra e tutto. Quindi vedo di darmi un attimo una svegliata pure io. Allora, non mi ricordo se dobbiamo andare da questa parte. Sì, c'è il ponte. L'unico problema è che siamo completamente disarmati. Le uniche armi in nostro possesso sono una granata stordente, il coltello e il CQC.
Patrol here. The situation is normal. Understood. Return to your position.
E sta arrivando una guardia. Questa dobbiamo per forza di cose farla, metterla KO. La situazione è nominale? In che senso? In che senso nominale? Ah, traduzione sbagliata, un po' sbagliata forse. Boh, forse intendeva normale, boh. Ho rischiato. Di nuovo. Ah, questo ponte. Voglio quegli oggetti. Bombe fumogene. Tra le altre cose è bello poter ripercorrere lo stesso livello a distanza di pochissimo tempo, ma con molte meno risorse a disposizione, quindi la difficoltà è drasticamente aumentata adesso. Ci stiamo avvicinando al luogo dell'incontro, nella speranza che non ci siano delle guardie. Mi pare di no. Guardate in base all'intensità dell'analogico quanto rumore fa. Piano piano, fortissimo. Ok. Adesso faccio un oggetto. No, Snake. Anche qua. C'è la scatola, però la dobbiamo equipaggiare. penso che stiamo per concludere l'episodio. Isole termico.
Sorry I'm late.
Cut the engine. They'll hear us.
Are you the agent they sent?
Are you Adam? I thought you were supposed to be a man.
Adam couldn't make it.
All right, say the password. Who are the Patriots? Who are the Patriots? Answer me!
Imboscata?
Get down! There is your answer.
Non ha risposto come avrebbe dovuto rispondere. Sarà veramente Adam?
The name's Eva.
Non c'è modo per muovere la visuale, ragazzi. Mm.
This wasn't part of the plan. What happened to Adam?
What's your code name?
It's Snake.
Snake, huh? Well, I'm Eva. Are you here to tempt me?
What happened to Adam?
Colonel Volgan is a very suspicious man. He decided Adam wasn't the right person for this mission.
And you were.
Yes,
Why?
because I can do things he can't.
I heard you used to be a codebreaker for the NSA.
I was. 4 years ago, I defected to the Soviet Union with Adam.
Mauser military. The broom handle.
It packs quite a punch. Nice to have when you're on a bike.
You held it sideways and used the muzzle jump to create a horizontal sweep. That was impressive.
Bet you've never seen that technique in the West.
It's imitation, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a Chinese Type 17 pistol. Around here, even that's hard to come by. Don't worry, though. The one I've got for you is American-made.
.45, huh? Incredible.
Do you like it?
The feeding ramp is polished to a mirror sheen. The slide's been reinforced, and the interlock with the frame is tightened for added precision. The sight system is original too. The thumb safety is extended to make it easier on the finger. A long type trigger with non-slip grooves. A ring hammer, The base of the trigger guard's been filed down for a higher grip. And not only that, nearly every part of this gun has been expertly crafted and customized. Where'd you get something like this?
I grabbed it from a Western munitions armory. It probably used to belong to one of your officers, and there are more where that came from. You had this with you, didn't you? Better take this too.
What's that?
A disguise to make you look like a scientist.
A disguise?
Yes. You're here to rescue Sokolov, right?
Sokolov's still safe then?
Yes. He's being forced to continue his work on the Shagohod.
Where?
At the lab. They've got a whole army of scientists there developing new weapons. Security is tight, but if you disguise yourself as a scientist, you might be able to sneak in.
Can we get Sokolov out of there?
We'll see, won't we?
Tell me how to get to the lab.
The safest way in is from the rear. First, you'll need to head north through the jungle. You'll come to a heliport used for shipping materials. Pass the heliport and continue north, and there will be a large crevice. Descend into that area and you'll reach a cave. Move through the cave and you will arrive at a mangrove swamp. After the swamp, there'll be a warehouse. Make your way through the warehouse and you'll come out just south of the lab.
Got it.
And just what are you doing there?
In close-range combat, a knife can sometimes be more useful than a gun. By doing this, I'll be able to hold a knife at the same time and still keep the gun steady. That way, I can instantly switch between a gun battle and a knife fight. Right, let's get going.
Wait a minute.
What now?
You must be tired. Why don't you take a little rest?
I'll be fine.
You'll never make it in your condition. It's a jungle out there. There's still an hour before dawn.
La faccia verde
It's
per quanto è
dangerous to be out in the
stanco.
jungle at night without a guide.
What about you?
I have to get back. I can't be gone for too long. They'll start to suspect something. Don't worry. I'll keep you updated over the radio.
That's it?
My orders are to provide you with information, nothing more. You look disappointed. All right then. I'll do something special for you. I'll stand watch until dawn. Now be a good boy and lie down. What's the matter?
I don't know you well enough to trust you.
How well do you have to know me to trust me?
I don't know if I can trust anybody.
Gonna get that?
She's right, Snake. You should get some sleep. Although in your condition, you really ought to be back in the ICU. Whenever you save the game and quit, you'll go to sleep. Sleeping allows you to gain back stamina naturally. Depending on how long you sleep, you may also recover naturally from sickness and injury. When you're tired or hurt, the best thing to do is just get some sleep. So do yourself a favor and take a nap. Doctor's orders, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Seguiremo questo consiglio, ragazzi. Salveremo e ci faremo un pisolino e andremo a dormire. Questo è quello che faremo adesso. Anche perché sono arrivato esattamente dove volevo arrivare quest'oggi, quindi salviamo. Quindi vai a dormire, esatto. Allora, salviamo intanto. Ok. E ci spostiamo nel post live, però io devo chiudere il gioco perché sennò ci sono gli spoiler, quindi allora ragazzi, per tutti coloro che mi hanno visto e in generale che sono stati qui con me, non posso che ringraziarvi per il supporto che mi dimostrate ogni domenica. Domenica in assoluto è il giorno più bello per fare live, sarà anche merito della straordinaria e strepitosa saga del maestro. Ma in generale sono contento per come sta andando questo 2024. A questo gioco gli darei un bel 3. Esatto, visto che si chiama Metal Gear Solid 3, diamogli un 3. Comunque, per tutti coloro che mi stanno guardando in differita, io vi ringrazio. Se il video ti è piaciuto, fammi sapere con un feedback di qualsiasi tipo. Come al solito, io non obbligo mai nessuno. Sentiti libero di esprimere la tua preferenza o meno. E quindi non posso fare altro che dare un mega salutone a tutti coloro che mi stanno guardando e alla prossima. Mentre per tutti coloro che sono qui con me è il momento di fare un raidino anche noi. Solo che non so chi, quindi vediamo un attimino chi c'è. C'è tanta gente, tanta gente. C'è Shiva con Banishers. Sono curioso di vederlo questo Banishers. Facciamo you right. Buonanotte, buonanotte. Ci vediamo domenica prossima. Passiamo prima dal buon Shiva. A presto. Un salutone.